Good morning. It's Irene Mahoney. I'm a certified health coach with Optavia, and I wanted to go live this morning with you and look over element three of our health book, our life book from Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. And element three is all about what do you, how do you create what you want? Okay, so again, the life book is self-paced. Dr. A says it should take you about 1 to 2 weeks to work through this one. The whole life book is created for you to go over in about a year. Um, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson wrote this book. It comes with your premier order. If you're on the Optavia 5-in-1 program or the 4-in-2 program, you should have this life book. I didn't write the book, but I'd like to go through the book with you today. So it says in element three, we will discuss the strategies, tools, and methods we are going to equip you with to create optimal health and well-being. Let me mind your glasses. Let's see. Explore the steps you can take to create what you want. Three, discover the tools that will help you move forward, creating sustainable and long-term change. And four, empower you to evaluate your progress and adjust as necessary along the way. So the opening page starts off, we first make our habits, then our habits make us. In element one, being clear why you are here, we explored why you want to make a change. In element two, knowing what you want to accomplish, we figured out what you want to create in terms of your health and well being. We started to outline what is most important to you and where you want to start this journey. The goal of the first two elements was to awaken what is really important to you and explore the areas you are willing and able to work on right now. So, if you're like me, really figuring out why you're here is a major step, and it's highly recommended that you put that on a note card and sort of put it around your house so you see your why all the time. And your why is going to change. We talked about that. In the very beginning, when you're so uncomfortable, your why might be that none of your pants are fitting. Your why might be to get back into your winter coat. And then as you start to go along your health journey and you start to lose the weight, you need to reevaluate your why. Are you looking to maybe reduce some medication that can happen when you lose some weight? Are you looking to increase your energy so that you can hang out with your kids or your grandkids or your nieces and your nephews? What is your why? It's really important that you continuously go back and reevaluate your why. And then, two, knowing what you want to accomplish first, we have 6 different micro habits of health. And if weight management is your number one goal, that's where a lot of us start. I know that's where I started. And so taking a look at the 6 micro habits and picking the one that is most important for you to start with. Some of you are already, fitness trainers or nutritionists, and you came into the program as a health coach. And so maybe you're not working on your optimal health. Maybe you're working on getting more sleep into your life or reducing your stress, things like that. So everybody's journey starts someplace different. For me, it was weight management. So this is the point where we move from the discovery phase to the creative and work phase. It's where the rubber meets the road. We'll discuss the strategies, tools, and methods we are going to equip you with to create optimal health and well-being. This is where we start making your new story a reality. Okay, so we're about to start element three here. And he talks about element three is going to give you the means of building new healthy habits to support your new behaviors and then create the desired outcomes you want for your health and for your life. Okay. And so it's time for us to take some ownership of our choices. Oh, that's tough, right? We always had the ability and the power to make better choices. And now we're going to get some tools to help us recognize that. So it says that there are going to be 4 steps to help us make these choices better. So step 1, use structural tension to organize your micro habits. Step 2, set up a habit loop for a specific habit of health. Step 3, identify the micro habits to install. And step 4, connect present actions to immediate and long-term rewards. So we're going to go through those 4 steps a little bit more in depth as you work your way through element 3. Most of us are working on healthy weight management, so that's kind of where most of the examples are in the Lifebook, and that's kind of what we'll stick with today as one. So step 1, use structural tension to organize your macro habits. So again, the first step is to pick the micro habit you want to work on. I just got back from vacation, so I'm currently working on healthy weight management, right? I put a little bit of vacation weight on, and now it's time to take that vacation weight off. So it says that you want to come up with a structural tension map, which has your current reality, secondary choices you're going to make to get to your desired results. So he makes a little map where he has his weight management system in there. But if you're not working on that right now, he also puts in a blank map for you to fill out. So if I were to look at my own situations, currently I'm a little over my goal weight. So I'm weighing in at about 148, and I would like to lose a lot of that vacation weight. So for secondary choices, he really just kind of puts the components of the program, which is nice because we already know how to do that, right? So he talks about portion control, 6 meals a day, eating breakfast every day, having low glycemic carbs only, 1 lean and green daily, and 8 glasses of water daily. Okay, and those are sort of the foundations of a good 5 and 1 or even a 4 and 2. And then desired results. What are you looking for? So I'd like to get back to under 140 or at least down to 140. And Dr. A has his example here. He started at 195 and he wanted to get down to 175. And he also went as far as to put his waist inches. He started at 35 inches and he wanted to get down to 33. So those are just some really great examples of how you can use the structural tension chart to sort of start working on your micro habit. The second step is to set up a habit loop for a specific habit of health. So that is going to entail 3 parts. You need a cue, which leads you to do the routine or the habit you're working on. And then you need a reward, which can be tangible or intangible. So here we have our structural tension chart, which is going to lead us to cue, routine, reward. Okay, so he goes through and his habit loop is going to talk about how to eat 6 times a day. Now, if that's a new habit for you, then you can download the Habits of Health app and it will cue you every 2.5 to 3 hours that it's time to eat. He talks about setting an alarm on his smartphone. I remember when I was first trying to make this a habit, I would fill out little yellow sticky notes and put them on my fuelings, reminding me, okay, if you started eating at 7, then your next fueling, I would literally write 10 a.m. on it and stick it on my second fueling. And then I would write 12:30 to 1 on my third fueling, just so I would remember. If you're more tech savvy, use the phone or the Habits of Health app. If you're less tech savvy, use the sticky note method, or the first 30 days comes with a journal in your guide to the 5-in-1 or the 4-in-2. And sometimes I would literally write in there what I ate, when I ate, to remind me when 2.5 to 3 hours had gone by. And so what is the routine going to be after you get that cue, after you see the time or your alarm goes off? You're going to eat a portion control meal. For us, it's a fueling. After you've been on program long enough, there's some chapters in the book later that are going to teach you how to make those fuelings right out of the grocery store. You don't always have to be dependent on the fuelings. But I love the fuelings and I find them so easy. So for me, they're still the fuelings. And so when I notice that it's time to eat, I eat a portion control meal. Now, the reward, his reward says he feels full. Okay. So it doesn't have to be like, always a tangible reward. Just acknowledge to yourself, I have eaten this healthy meal. I know it's full of nutrients. I know the carbohydrates and the proteins are balanced. And so I know that this fueling is going to keep me full for the next 2.5 to 3 hours. Um, and so this is going to take a while in order to become a consistent habit. And consistency is the key. You have to remember to do this day after day. I think he says in here it takes 66 days to make a new habit. I know a fellow health coach talks about relating this to an AA meeting, and you got to do it 90 times in 90 days. And so just consistency, the fact that every single day you have to follow these steps in order for them to start becoming your ingrained habits. And then once you get this habit, you can move on to the next micro habit. Maybe you need some work drinking your water or maintaining your motion, right? And we'll take a look at that in later elements of the Lifebook. So step 3 says identify the micro habit to install. Sometimes the habits you are working on will be easy enough so that you will only need step 1 and step 2 to organize and build the new habit. Other times we will have to do some more preparatory work to make sure we effectively install the new habit. Okay, so Dr. A wants you to ask yourself 3 questions about the habit that you are trying to install. Question 1, is it appealing? Do I want to do it? Question 2, is it achievable? Can I actually do it? Question 3, is it easily activated? Is there a prompt that reminds me to do it? And so eating 6 times a day is appealing. Yes, I wanted to do that. But as I have worked on that habit and am now, trying to work on other habits, like maybe I do enjoy going for a walk every day, but I feel like it's time that I start adding in some toning and maybe going to the gym. And maybe that one is not so appealing to me. So then I have to go to the next one. Is it achievable? Can I do it? Yeah, I have the time. I have a gym membership. So yeah, it is achievable and I can do it. And so sometimes if it's appealing, it's an easier habit to put into place, right? Eating 6 times a day, I found that very appealing. I like to eat. um, and now some of the other ones are a little harder for me, and it's going to depend from person to person on which ones you find easier or harder. And that's just a fact, and that's okay. Some of them will be easy and some of them will be harder. So it says a micro habit of health is by definition easy to do and always within your ability in terms of ease or effort. They take into account other limiting factors such as time constraints. Okay, so you have to figure out what is a small enough habit that it's always easy to do. It's not impossible. You got to find a starting point that works for you. If you don't want to go to the gym, maybe commit 20 minutes a day. That's not a huge time commitment. Maybe start with some lighter weights, which are easy for you. Maybe, for me, it was starting to get back into the habit of going for a daily walk. That's where I started. That was easy for me. Now it's time to sort of up my activity a little bit. And I'm starting to think like, oh, I should probably start adding some weight training to just kind of take my health goals up a notch. Okay. It also talks about sort of the importance of consistency and coming up with a streak, and the idea that if you fail on one day, it's okay as long as the next day you get right back on. And if you fail to do your habits 3 days in a row, you kind of have to start back at the beginning. And if any of you have the Habits of Health app, he kind of does that for you. If you don't remember to put in the Habits of Health app that you did all the right steps, you get set back to day one. So some other routines that he talks about, and I know I have a problem with this. It talks about the micro habit of slowing down. And so Dr. A talks about how, he worked in the ER and everything was very fast paced. And so he got in the habit of sort of inhaling his food and not enjoying it. So he started to work on a micro habit of slowing down during his fuelings. And he tried to make himself chew at least 5 times and really think about the food he was eating and enjoy the food that he was eating. So it took more time to chew, and he got that feeling of fullness and enjoying his meals more than when he was just inhaling them. And I kind of like that because I think we all sort of get busy and are sort of guilty of just kind of grab and go, eat it in the car, eat it standing up. Don't take a moment to actually enjoy what we're eating, and just remember, like, this is fuel. And I'm going to enjoy it, and then I'm going to know that I'm going to be full and satisfied for the next 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so then he gives you a little template here for you to come up with your own micro habit, and like, what could you be working on? Oh, then he has a great story about a grandma, and she wanted to work on strength training. And her ultimate why was she didn't feel like she was strong enough to carry her grandson around. And so they started with modified push-ups, right? You got to make it easy enough that you can do it every day. And for the first week that she tried this, she literally did one modified push-up every day until she finally got good at it. Then she worked her way up to 5 until she finally was doing real push-ups, and ultimately sent Dr. A picture of herself holding her grandson and smiling. So again, just a nice example of how making your habits small enough that they're achievable, right? Even if they're not enjoyable, can you do it? Yes, we all could do a modified push-up every day. So that's kind of cool. All right, step 4 in element 3 is connect present action to immediate and long-term rewards. Okay, we often struggle to not take the immediate gratification, eat the extra snack, hit the snooze button, and skip our workout. Hey, Mary, how are you? I hear you. You gotta make yourself stick to program 4 days, 4 days, and you could get through it. But I hear you coming back from vacation. Oh, those 4 days were not easy, but we can do it. We can do hard things, and we can do it because we have the tools we need, and we can make them micro habits. So, did you download the Habits of Health app? Have you set a reminder on your phone to eat every 2 to 3 hours? Just some basic steps. Also, remember, talk to your coach. Call your coach. It's a two-way street. Yes, we call you once a week to see how your week went, but if you're really struggling and you're so hungry, call your coach and get that extra layer of accountability and say, like, listen, I'm trying to do a restart of the program and I need a little help. And that's good advice for all of us. So let's see. Connecting present actions to immediate long-term rewards is our last step here. And I am definitely guilty of struggling with this, right? You said you're going to get up early and go work out, but hitting the snooze button and just sleeping through that workout just in the short term feels better. It's a better reward. And so we need to learn how to connect that to the long-term reward. And here Dr. A sort of gives an example that like it doesn't always have to be a positive um, a reward. So he gives the example of calling a friend and saying like, "Hey, meet me at the gym or go for a run with me." And then if you skip it, you actually like hurt your friendship, and you don't want to hurt your friendship, so you're more likely to not hit the snooze button, get up and go to the gym. All right, he talks about the difference between future rewards and now rewards. So let's see. It says, in Dr. A's example of reaching a healthy weight, he knew that all the habits he installed would help his future health, and as a result, he would become healthier, look better, and be more likely to live longer and free of disease. We all want that future. We all originally called our health coach for those reasons. But sometimes on the daily, they seem too big and too broad, and just eating one extra snack seems like, oh, not such a big deal. So, to sort of change that focus to the immediate, it says, if I eat smaller fuelings every 3 hours, I will have more energy throughout the day. Whew, we know that's true. We know when we skip the extras, we have more energy. If I eat breakfast, I know I will be less hungry and more likely to eat healthy today. In our program, we eat within 1 hour of waking up, right? Make sure you're doing that. You want to activate that metabolism as soon as possible. We know when we do this, we feel better, we feel full. Um, if I eat low glycemic carbs, I will have more even blood sugar and less mental fog at work, right? It's hard to remember that when you're facing a donut in the break room, but resisting the donut is going to keep you on that even, so you're not having the blood sugar spike and drops and kind of feel icky throughout the day and kind of feel a little like fuzzy headed, right? Nobody likes that. If I drink 8 glasses of water, I will be less hungry and more alert throughout the day, right? A lot of us see that water as a challenge, right? But remembering that that is a good component to help us get from one fueling to the next, staying full, staying hydrated. Um, Sometimes coffee just seems so much more appealing, and you got to tell yourself, hey, grab your water, get some in. Mine's always handy. Um, Hopefully yours is too. But yeah, some days it's a struggle to get your water in, and you realize you had 2 pots of coffee and 0 water, and you got to put that in the habit loop. Okay, it's time for me to start working on my half a body weight worth of ounces of water today. Okay, so this idea of cue, routine, reward. And remember, the reward can be immediate, like you feel full, you have more energy if you stick with the program, or it can be long term. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to have less problems down the road. And he calls this the creation of a transformation cycle. Really, that cue, routine, instant reward, long term reward. Thanks, Mary. I know I'm in the summer, so I'm a little rusty, but okay. So, notes to yourself, things that you can journal in your life book. Here we are in our life book. The questions are on page 99 if you catch this as a recording later. What does this element mean to you right now? We're all in different journeys, right? What you may be done working on six fuelings a day. What are you working on right now? What does this element give you the opportunity to reflect on? We are so good at beating ourselves up, but what have you accomplished? right? My clients are always focused on what happened this one week, or even like, oh, yesterday I weighed this, but today I weighed this. Um, where are you overall in your journey? They're so easy to dismiss that they've lost 15 pounds already. They've lost 20 pounds already. They've started implementing these habits of health. They generally sleep more. They generally eat healthier. They feel better, right? Sometimes we've got to reflect on our whole journey and then see, where are we right now? What micro habit do we need to work on right now? Okay. And just give yourself credit. Really be proud of the progress you've made. If you're new to the program, the progress you made is you got on program. Congratulations. That was a huge step for me, admitting that I needed help, and everything I had been doing to get healthier and losing weight on my own was not working. Okay. Calling out, reaching out to my health coach and saying like, oh, I heard this program was successful. I'm so nervous. I failed on so many other programs. And having her say, well, don't worry, I will believe that it will work until you believe that it works. And I'm down 60 pounds, so I believe it works. Okay, so again, reflect. Where are you? Where do you want to be? Okay, but don't just beat yourself up. Give yourself credit, right? We've all done some really positive steps on this program. What actions are you going to take as a result of this element, right? Maybe right now you need to start getting back on a good 5 and 1 or a good 4 and 2. And right now is a great time to start, right? If you just ate something 2.5 to 3 hours later, make a good choice. Set your alarm. Look into the Habit of Health app. See if that'll help you. Okay. Again, connect with your coach. The reason this program works is because you have a one-on-one coach, right? If you need a health coach, I put my email in the chat, in the comments down below, in the description of this video. If you have a health coach, reach out to your health coach, right? They want you to lean on them, right? So send them a text, give them a call, and tell them like, hey, I'm in my Lifebook. I'm working on element 3. I'm trying to reestablish some good habits around water, sleep, whichever one you're working on. Let them know. Guess what? There are 6 micro habits, which means you can come back to element 3 over and over again and relook at how you're going to work on the next micro habit, right? You pretty much got to do element 3 6 times before you finally kind of graduate from element 3. Okay. Share your thoughts with your coach. That will help them become a reality, right? If you publish your goals, if you put them on your private Facebook page, put them on your public Facebook page, what are you working on, right? If you put it out in the universe and you say, I really want to get back on program, I'm really, trying to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever it is right now, share it with your friends, your family, your health coach, and you're going to be more likely to stick to it. And people are going to be more likely to be supportive of your goals because they know what you're working on. And make sure you review all your notes of this element often. Like I said, 3 is a doozy. You got to go through it 6 times. And so you have your Lifebook. Give yourself permission to write in it, write all over it, put some sticky notes in there. Really get into this element. So that's element 3. I hope you found that helpful. And next weekend, we'll take a look at 4. What is 4 about? Let's see. Building a healthy mindset. Whew, we all need some work on that. I know I do. All right. Well, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you Monday.